Hi, I'm Tom Ziglar, CEO of the Zig Ziglar Corporation. Welcome to the Ziglar Coaching Academy. Today is Mindset Monday, where we're talking about the coaching mindset. And remember, there's two ways to look at this: personal development, success, motivation, inspiration, the things that Ziglar has a 60-year legacy of. That is all really coaching yourself, right? That's making the choices on a daily basis that allow me to grow, and we create that mindset. You might also be here because you are a coach or you want to become a coach. And so what we've got to do in that regards is we've got to help those that we're coaching create the right mindset. And you're going to get nuggets on this channel on Mondays every time we come on. And so here's the question: how do we change? How do we change? Here's one of my quotes: change starts with the thinking and comes after the doing. We recently had a great conversation with our master coaches, and we came up with this question, does belief come before change? In other words, does belief come before action, or does action create belief? And then we went into one of our tools called Zig AI, which we use to support our coaches. And it came back with a response. It says, well, does identity inform your actions, or does action inform your identity? Isn't that interesting? Or another way, do beliefs create your identity, or does your identity create your beliefs? Okay, so I said a lot of words: identity, belief, change, action. So here's the good news. Why don't you step back for a second, look at your own life, and evaluate from a mindset perspective, what's the life I want to be living? What are the successes I want to have in each area of my life? And then, are there people ahead of me who've already accomplished those things? And then this question: what did they actually do to accomplish those things? And then break down that action into its smallest piece. Because here's the thing: when you start doing the smallest next step towards what you want to become, and you do that often enough every day, well, then your belief starts to change. Because before, your belief was, well, that'd be nice, but that's what they do. I don't do that. Well, wouldn't it be awesome if you could just wake up and decide, hey, that's who I am? Sometimes I can do that, but most of the time I have to lay the foundation with a lot of actions over time. And what I found is this: that if I start doing the action that will help me become the person who automatically does that, I start believing that I am that person. And when I become that person, I no longer have to remind myself to do it over and over again. It happens automatically. So watch this. I'm going to finish it up with a quote. Change starts with the thinking. Who do I want to become? What do I need to do to get there? And then it comes after the doing those little habits. So incorporate that into your mindset. Maybe put in your calendar every single day: here's a little thing I'm going to do once a day, 5 times a day, 10 times a day, depends on what it is and how long it takes. And when I do that over and over the next 3 months, I'm going to believe, my belief is going to change that is the person who I am, and it's going to be an automatic in your life. Thanks for being here on the Ziglar Coaching Academy on the Coach's Mindset. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I would love for you to leave a comment below or a question that you have, and we'll incorporate that into a future episode. We'll see you next time.